Thank you, YouTube. Hi, it's Jay from Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I'm so glad to see you. I tell you, I have had a wonderful time, and I thank you so much for all the sweet comments, for all the views, and thank you for letting me get my little sing on. When I saw that yarn and saw the name Sunshine, what can I say? Who would have thought that song got stuck in my head? I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. And it was so strange because, you know, Smokey Robinson was on Dancing with the Stars the next week. So I guess it was meant to be. But I'm so glad you stopped by. And I've got a lot to share, and I've got something new to show you. I hope you love it. I believe you will. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I believe you will. So, let's get started with what's new at Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Well, what's new with me? First of all, yay, it's fall. I love fall. Don't you love fall? Well, let's see. I love it because, first of all, I love cooking in the fall. I love cooking because I can use my crock pot. Oh, I just love crock pot cooking. Oh, I can just think of all my different recipes I can go through. I love baking a little bit. I'm not that great a baker because I really am not good with measuring. But just the smell of in the house, and oh, I try different recipes, and oh, it's just great. So I love fall because I love to cook more in the fall. It's just great cooking. You know, you want to make hearty meals, and they're a little more open to things in the fall. So that's one reason. Another reason is the fall colors. Don't you just love the fall colors? Oh, they're just so pretty. And as you saw in the pictures in the intro, I went up to Walmart and I found a beautiful sale on the mums, and I just put them up my stairs, and oh, they smell so beautiful. Of course, they draw a lot of bees and butterflies and things, but oh, they smell so beautiful. Ah, I just love the fall. Just love that. And of course, you know, they have beautiful yarns. You know, in the fall, you get a little more variety. You're ready to step out of the box of summer, and you really want to start. It's not quite ready for the heavy stuff yet, you know, for the winter. I'm talking more of the fall. Oh, those wonderful colors of fall. You know, I can just, you know how you can think of the pumpkin colors, the beautiful red colors of the apples. You can think, you know, a lot of people around in our area go up in the north to the mountains to gather apples. And then you can think of, oh, just all kind of delicious. Well, it rolls over into yarn also. That's what I think. And so I love beautiful fall colors that we have in our yarn now. And so that's why I'm so excited. We can make new things. Okay, oh, and then too, I have so many shout outs. Man, I got way behind on my shout outs because I really, it's hard to put shout outs in the tutorial. I really want to keep that separate. So let me see, can I go through and tell you some of the nice people that I met. Okay. For all those who thought I forgot, I didn't forget you, and I wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you, how nice it was to meet you, and I hope you, you know, tune in and come and join me at Jay's Knit and Purl Jam and knit and crochet with me and all of my new friends. Okay, well, one young lady I met, her name is Jen. And Jen was getting into crocheting because her sister, I think she lived up around Cleveland, Ohio, because she said they were like the football team, the Bears, and she was going to crochet. Her sister was having a baby boy, and she wanted to crochet him a bear-themed hat. So Jen, I hope your hat turned out great. I hope the baby looks cute in it. And I just know you're going to just be able to crochet more things. And I hope you join us here and see. So I don't really do baby things, but hey, you can do other things. You can do something for your sister. So it's nice meeting you. And then on that same day, it might have been on that same day, I met Bonnie. Oh, she was just a great lady. I know it was on a day when Joanne was having one of their great coupon sales. It had been a good while since we had a great coupon sale. And you know, when you can just use as many as you want and just go crazy buying just coupons. They didn't care. And the store was packed and full. And I was standing there looking at some books and trying to decide. Judy didn't go to the sale that week. I don't know if she was out of town or what, but she didn't go. So she gave me all the coupons. Thanks, Judy. So not only did I have my coupons, I had Judy's coupons. I mean, I was raring to go. I was on the mark, get set, go. And while I was standing there looking at some books and trying to decide what I wanted to buy, this lady came up and she said, "Oh, do you need some extra coupons?" And I was about to tell her no, that I had so many. Before I knew it, she pulled out her big stack and she gave me two 50%. Well, I wasn't going to tell her no. But I did ask her name, and her name is Bonnie. And so, Bonnie, I thank you so much for sharing your coupons with me that day. That was so sweet. And sure enough, just the other day, that was like a month or so ago, and just the other day, I ran into Bonnie again. I recognized her, her voice. We were pretty much in the same place in the store, looking at some books. And I called out to her. I said, "Bonnie, is that you?" And she said, "Joyce, is that you?" And I said, "Yeah." So we started talking, and I told her how much I appreciated, and asked her what she was up to. She wasn't really into knitting and crocheting as much as she's into beads. And she was telling me about she was trying to, get her husband to kind of help her come up with setting aside a little place or a closet or just a place for her to do her beads. Men just don't get it. We need our own little place. So, Bonnie, I hope you can come up with a great way to set you up a little bead area just so you can do your beads. Because you know what? That necklace you had on was beautiful. Girl, that necklace was beautiful. She had on something like the stone looked vintage, and she used really beautiful, the necklace part. And then she did the matching earrings. So, Bonnie, I loved it. I know it's kind of hard, trying to sell things and even get your money back. But you know what? It was just absolutely beautiful. So keep going, and I hope you get your room. Keep trying. Maybe you'll get it. And then I ran into, there was a lady I know. There was Kazumi. She was at Joann's one day. As you're standing in the checkout line, this is one good thing about crafters and shoppers. When you have coupons and you see that you're not going to use them, you just hate for them to go to waste. So she was 2 or 3 people ahead of me, and she saw someone ahead of her who had a big basket of fabric. And so she reached out and was right in the line. We started passing out coupons. I said, "Well, I have one that I'm not going to use," because I wasn't buying fabric. I was buying yarn. And she gave some coupons, and I shared some, and other people were sharing. And it was kind of like we were all playing cards or something. It was like we were playing Uno or something. Everybody was picking out coupons like this. So, Kazumi, I hope what you were sewing on turns out great. And she said she did do a little knitting and crocheting, I believe. So maybe you'll follow me and join us at Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to come. Oh, let's see. And then, my friend Karen. Karen, I saw her, Karen in. And I got to tell you about Karen. Okay. Karen, I don't know, was it her daughter or a friend, but someone that belonged to a sorority wanted those pretty ruffly scarves, the ruffly ones, star, whatever, red heart, all that. And so she was making those scarves in, of course, the sorority colors. Not only for the sorority sisters, but I think for the alumni too. And I can't remember how many Karen made, but I'm sure it's close to 100, Karen. So I keep asking her to get things ready. maybe she could let me come and she could do a show and tell. And maybe she can show some of the scarves that she made. I'm telling you, how she did it, I don't know. But every time I talked to her, she was making a new scarf. But she finally got them done. And I think she had some left. But yeah, she did a whole sorority. And I believe some of the alumni sisters probably wanted in their colors too. So, good job. Be careful for what you wish for, Karen. And then I met Marcy. I was at getting my car, getting the oil change over at the Kia dealership, and a lady sat down, and I was sitting there knitting. I take my knitting everywhere. When I'm sitting on the table at the doctor's office with that little paper gown on, I'm knitting. If I'm in the voter line, I'm knitting. I keep knitting in my car. So when I'm sitting there getting my oil, while my oil's being changed, I was knitting on something, working on something. And she sat down and we started talking, and she said that she liked crochet dishcloths. So, Marcy, I hope you continue to crochet dishcloths, but think of this. A sweater is just 2 large dishcloths sewn together. If you think of it like that, it's not so hard. 2 large dishcloths, front and back, sewn together, shoulders and under the arm. What could be simpler than that? So I hope you join us here at Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I hope you continue to crochet. And last but not least, my friend Lily. Hi, Lily. Well, I hadn't seen Lily in a long time. I've known her for a while, and she works in a store that's near my house. And so one day I was just going through some of my, just kind of going through things as I was thinking of things for Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I decided to make her a beautiful gift bag. I thought, well, I hadn't seen her in a long time. I want to take her something nice. So I went through my books. I'm talking about the stuff I buy from the knit shop. Those books, really nice. And I knew I'm not going to use them, people. After a while, you need to just move on to someone else. Even though, yes, I pay good, but she will probably use them more. She's younger, much younger than I am, and the stuff in there was much younger than I would probably wear. So I thought, oh, I'll just go through my yarn and I'll go through some books. So I made her a beautiful gift bag. So Lily, I haven't talked to you. I hope to see you soon, but I hope you enjoyed the gift bag. I'm sure you probably knitting away. And of course, I let her know about Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I hope you have been tuning in. And like I said, I hope to see you soon. Man, I had a lot of shout outs. But what you gonna do when you have a lot of friends? You just have to do what you have to do. And let everybody know how much you appreciate it. And then, now I got to tell you the surprise that I have for you. What's new? Well, what's new with me is, look, I have a new vest. Oh, you too. I believe you're going to love this. This is Jay's Love Knot vest. And I don't know if you know how to crochet. I believe the name that we learned it under was Solomon's Knot. And then more recent, I guess they updated it. Most people call it the Love Knot. Look. I can't wait to share this with you. So I'm going to do, as you've seen in the pictures, it rolls back and it drapes like a beautiful scarf, and it has beautiful weight. And I'm using a new yarn. I mean, not new, but I'm just getting away from Karen a little bit. Let you know as we move on. Of course, I'll be using other yarns and giving you other suggestions. But isn't this, it is so pretty. I can't wait to share it with you. So, without further ado, unless I can think of something else, let's see what's on my needles. What's in my knitting bag? Jay's Love Knot vest tutorial. So, now YouTube, before we go right into the tutorial, I want to give you just a little hint of the background. And then, of course, I'm going to I'm going to show you the vest. We're going to start. It starts in the back. And remember, we're still in the square sweater theme. And so I thought, well, I want to give something a little, I want to do something a little extra for my crocheters. You've been so wonderful. You've given me all the great comments and views. So I want to give you this, and I really think you're going to enjoy this. And if you don't know how to do the Solomon's knot, or AKA love knot, of course, we're going to go through that too. And I just want to share with you. And before we do that, I want to thank my friend Tammy. Oh, I met Tammy the other week, and when I was picking out the beautiful mums on that you saw in the intro pictures, and she gave me the good suggestion, and you know how I can put them up the stairs, and oh, they're just so pretty. And then the other day when I was out, I ran into my friend Amanda. So I ran into Amanda, and I was telling her about my new, about Jay's Knitting Pro Jam, and about my new fall video. And I was telling her about my new fall, you know, my new fall color yarns and all the things that I want to put on the video. And she was sharing with me about her fall wreaths that she created. So, Amanda, hey, you never know. You might put you some wreaths on the YouTube. But thanks for all the great suggestions. So, now we're going to get into, I think I'm going to call it Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. I just thought I might want to throw in the autumn in there. Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. See you in a minute. Well, YouTube, here is the back of Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. This vest is still part of our square themed sweater. And so what better to do than start with a nice square in the back. And then we simply will join on left and right side a square, which will create the front. But let me move in a little bit before I switch to the front and let you see. We will start, of course, at the bottom edge, and we're just crocheting. As you can see, double crochets, and then a section of the love knots. Aren't they pretty? Oh, wait till you see once you do it and get it on. Is that pretty? And then we'll go all the way up to the neck. And, you know, my thing is, I'm just not a person that enjoys creating things in pieces. And I could have easily done this in 3 squares and just sewn them together. But I prefer to try to have everything as much as possible in 1, 2, or 3 pieces. And so really this is going to be done in one piece because we're just going to connect them on the sides. Now, let me show you the front. And the front is just a beautiful autumn field of love knots. And as I come around to show you, remember, we're just going to simply add 2 squares to our back square. You see it? And what happens is the weight of it falls and makes this beautiful scarf. Hope I'm not moving it too fast. Beautiful scarf effect. See, it just rolls back. And then it just falls. Really pretty. Look at that. And it looks just as pretty on, even prettier. So, of course, you know, I'm new at pictures, so it's not doing it justice. But I think you're going to love, in fact, I know you're going to love this. And you know, as I was sharing in the previous video in Sunshine on a Cloudy Day, how many of you caught the little secret message I left in there? You know, if yellow's not your thing, you know, that sweater would be beautiful in Karen autumn red for the holidays coming up, or black, or any color. And this is the same thing. If this autumn color is kind of yeah, it's, you know, kind of a goldy color. If this is not good for your skin, maybe another color, well, you just try it in another color. It's not about the color. It's about how you look in it and how much you're going to love to make this. So, I guess we better get started with Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. Now for our supplies for Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. And of course we have been using on most of the projects, I think, using the Karen Simply Soft. Well, I was looking around and I wanted something really, I don't know, something pretty for autumn, and all of a sudden this caught my eye. Of course, I've used this yarn on many other projects, but we haven't used it together. So let me introduce, if you have not used it, I'm sure you can find it at any big box store in your area. It's simply Lion's brand, and it's called Heartland. And this particular color is Yosemite. And it just as soon as I saw it, I says, oh, that just speaks to me of the fall leaves, the mums, the autumn colors. I even think it, look, I thought maybe it even smelled autumn. Well, maybe that's a stretch, but but we're going to be using a lot of this yarn as we transition from Karen's yarn on to other yarns as we go on. And I just love this yarn. It is beautiful. And that's just as soon as you start loving a yarn, then they go and change it. So I hope they won't mess with the yarn. It is a beautiful yarn to work with. And if you haven't noticed, right now we are still in the square themed sweater, and by now you should know we are working with medium weight. I haven't brought that up yet because, you know, I didn't want to get into a lot of fiber and what fibers are in certain yarns. I just wanted to get you into how I, you know, my process of knitting or crocheting, you know, garments. And then we talk about that later. But this is a nice yarn. They call for a J hook. Oh, surprise! You know I'm a J girl. So I will be using my Clover Soft Touch J hook. And so there's the yarn, there's the hook. Now the pattern. Like I said, you know, I can't remember how I learned how to crochet. It's just something we just did. I just can't remember. I know I was crocheting before I got married, and I know I crocheted baby blankets because I have one from my oldest son. I have two sons. I'm married, and I have two sons, two grown sons now. No grandkids, though. But anyway, but we've done the Solomon, we called it then Solomon's Knot, and then all of a sudden I said, well, they're saying Love Knot. And I thought, well, I believe it's the same thing. So, let me tell you where I can do it without a pattern, but I wanted to see what other people, you know, had done with the stitch. And of course, you know I love stitch books. Everything we'll do just about will be out of a stitch book. Because that's the freedom. I just love it. And that's all I want to share with you. And of course, no one, I mean, if you're a crocheter any place or knitter or anything, you have to recognize Jean Leinheiser and Rita Weiss, their names. I have as many books. In fact, I didn't even know I had some that were so old. So one day I started looking. You just automatically bought them. And this is one of the last ones that they had put out together. And even though Jean Leinheiser is no longer with us, but just think, her work, her love, her passion will live on in all of her many books. And this is just a really pretty one. I hope this is not a glare. I'll check the camera. But it's well written. I love it. They keep the patterns down to just a few rows. They don't go on and on and on to make these beautiful stitches. Because I think that's why a lot of people are turned off by crocheting. Because it's not like knitting where things are written in rows and very precise row, you know, row 1, row 2. You know, they're written in paragraph form, and it is so easy to just to get lost. But this is the book, and let me show you the pattern. And on one of the patterns I was looking through, and it was under special stitches, and it was called Lover's Knot. Okay, and I said, oh well, that's. And then lo and behold, down here, then she had the same stitch, but this one she said Solomon's Knot. Okay, so apparently she must have changed something in there, you know, because this one is a multiple of 5 plus 3 chains, and this one is a multiple of 5 plus 2. So it just depends on what she needed to add with the stitch. And on this one, she was adding double crochets, and I guess she needed an extra stitch. So she just simply renamed that. But it's only done in just 4 or 5 rows. And I just thought, oh, I love that. What can I do with that? You know, they give you the stitch. This is why I love stitch books. They give you the stitch. Of course, now now with the internet, you know, I'm old school. You know, we didn't always have the YouTube or the internet. You know, you had to read or figure it out. But now you can just go on the YouTube or wherever, and you can see someone actually do the stitch, just like I'm going to do on my video. Isn't that great? Before, I guess we just had to just kind of hope it was right. But now you don't have to do that because you have the internet and you have the YouTube and everything else. Isn't that great? But I wanted you to see. I want to give credit where credit is due. I love her. You'll see all the books. I had everything they ever put out that I could think of getting. So, great job to 2 wonderful ladies. And if you don't know anything about them, if you're new, then just go on Google and just search them and read up on them. 2 wonderful ladies, and a great book. The Big Book of Crochet Stitches, Fabulous Fans, Pretty Picots, Clever Clusters, and a whole lot more. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now you know where I have my pattern. I'm going to sit my book. I keep my books on a little book stand here in case I need it. And I've worked up my little black and white. Now this one was a little messy on this one because I was really... Oh, there's that glare again. Let me just put it down. Okay, so I've got my black and white, even though... I don't necessarily have to have a formula for this like we actually do on our knitting projects, but I still make a black and white, so I'll know what I did to the pattern with the stitches to create this particular garment. Now, alright, we've covered supplies. Now before we get started, let me just show you where we're going to start using, of course, our Yosemite Heartland. This yarn, of course, I'm using practice as I've, doing most of my projects. And as you can see, this is just my practice square of the back. Now, when you hold it up, isn't that pretty? So lacy. And this yarn is so soft. Oh, I love it. I just hope they don't start messing with it. But this is where we'll start. You will need your J-hook. You will need some yarn. Later on, at the end of the video, I'll show you another one that I'm working on and give you some more suggestions of other yarns if you can't find this one. But here's my practice yarn. Here's my hook. So let me tell you how we're going to start Jay's Autumn Love Knot Crocheted Vest. Just for my YouTube friends. Enjoy! So now before we start our vest, let's take a look at the love knot stitch. And I've tried to get some really vibrant yarn here so that it will show up on the camera, hopefully. So let's get into it. With my J-hook and this yarn, I've just done a small sample chain. Okay, now the Solomon knot is done in 2 stages. Okay, wherever you want to start it, I'm going to stop it right here, and I'm simply going to pull up a long loop on my hook. Can you see that? A long loop on my hook. I put my thumb there, and here's my working yarn. I'm right-handed, so now you'll have to, if you're left-handed, you'll have to, interpret it however since I don't know any other way to do it. Alright, I have my 2 strands, my loop there. I reach over and I grab up a loop. Now, before I take the loop through the loop on my hook, I'm going to put my finger right there and form a space. Can you see that? So I'll pull through the loop, grab it with my finger on my right hand. Now I go back with my needle through that first space I made, grab another loop, bring it up. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. And then I just simply pull through 2 loops. That's the first stage. See how it looks? Alright, second stage. Move your fingers up, put your thumb there at the base of it, at the knot, pull up on the yarn and you have the 2 strands there. Can you see it? That loop forms 2 strands. Now, reach over with the hook, grab a loop, but before you pull it through, put your finger there to remind you where to go, to remind you the space you're going to be working in. So I'll pull that loop through the yarn. Now I'll reach back through the space where my finger is holding, and I pull up a loop. Now I have 2 on the hook. And then I pull through 2 loops. Doesn't look like much yet, but it will. Okay, her pattern calls for a multiple of 5. So I'm gonna, from where I am, at the base of this first one, I'm gonna skip over 1, 2, 3. I'm skipping over 4 chains, and in the 5th chain, I'm simply gonna do a single crochet. Just like that. Now we start the repeat again of the 2 stages of the knot. Okay, hold your thumb there at the base, pull up a long loop. I reach over with my hook and grab a loop. Before I take it through, stick my finger right there so I'll know where to go back. And then go right back through that space, pull up 2 loops, stop. Now I'll pull through those 2 loops on the hook. That's phase 1. Now I need to repeat that. Move my thumb to the base, pull up a long loop. I've got those 2 strands there, but it's the one that I'm going to create that I want to go back through. So there's those 2 strands. Now I put my finger there, reach over and grab a loop, stop. I'm creating this space right there. I pull through, reach back into that space where I had my finger, stop. I have 2 loops on the hook. Now reach and pull through 2 loops. And there's 1, 2, the second part of that Solomon's knot, love knot. Okay, I count over 1, 2, 3, 4. I skip 4 and I do a single crochet in the 5th chain, 1 single crochet, okay. Now repeat the steps. Pull up a loop as long as you want to pull it up. You try to, you try to get the same length on every one, and it don't always work out that way, but you pull up a loop. Okay, let me just undo that. Pull the loop up, and you see the 2 strands that the loop makes. Your finger goes right beside them, reach over, pull a loop through, and the space that you made with your finger, go through. Now pull through 2 loops on the hook. 1 portion made. Second portion, pull up. You have the 2 strands. Put your finger right there. This is the space I'm creating right there with my finger. Reach over, pull the loop through, immediately go back to where your finger made the space, pull a loop up. Now always have 2 loops on the hook. Now pull through those 2 loops. And of course, and then I will skip over 1, 2, 3, 4. I will go over to the 5th chain and start the repeat over. And there is your first row of the love knot. Now to start our really pretty vest, just so lacy and light. You're gonna love it. Okay, I hope you still have all your measurements that we've taken and used for previous projects. We're going to continue to use them no matter whether you're knitting or crocheting. Your measurements for your body, we will use them just to save you a lot of time. Okay, for instance, on my project that I've been using 25 to measure from my left side to my right side across the front, just to give me some type of measurement in inches. So I just need you to find out what your inches are, and I want you to make a chain about those inches. I made a chain, say if I was doing it on the real vest, of course I made a chain about 25 inches. If you need to go over a little bit more, that's fine. We're not going to use them all. We can always undo. For the sample, I did like maybe a little over 30 or so. Okay, and you're going to simply, in the 4th chain from the hook, you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to start doing double crochets across, and in each chain across you're going to make a double crochet until you feel like you have enough. Stop, take your crochet piece here and then measure it around the front of your body again from your left side to the right. Pull it nice and tight, and you may have a mark, a place, you know, something to mark it, or however you can. And then you want to lay your work down, and you want to count how many double crochets it will take to go from your left to your right of the front of your body. But when you start counting, do not count this first post, this skip chains we did. Start with the ones that you actually did double crochets. So you just count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and continue across. And the number that you end up with needs to be divisible by 5. So, for example, on the real vest, I did 65 double crochets. 65 double crochets. On this sample, I'm doing just 30. So that's what we need to do, and then we will be ready. That's just your foundation row. This is row 1, and we will be ready for row 2. We will start the love knot. Okay, so now I'm coming up to, I just kind of undid one, so I need to put it back. So I have my double crochets, a number divisible by 5, to represent the very bottom back square of our vest. Okay, row 2. Okay, row 2, you will chain 1, and you're going to turn the work. Then you're going to go right back into that very first double crochet. You're going to do a single crochet right there. Okay, now we start the love knot across. Okay, and you start by pulling up a nice long loop. Reach over, pull a loop through, turn and go under the strand and pull a loop through. You have 2 loops on the hook, and then you pull through those 2. That's the first part of that love knot. You pull up, reach over, pull a loop through, go back through that very first strand, up under that very first strand, pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on the hook, and pull through both loops. And there it is. From this point, you count over 4, you skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 double crochets, excuse me. You skip over 1, 2, 3, 4. You skip over to the 5th double crochet. You do a single crochet, and then we start the love knot again. Hold it in place with your thumb if you need to. Pull up a nice long loop, yarn over, pull through, go up under the first strand, pull up a loop. I have 2 loops on the hook. Go through both loops, stop. Pull up another long loop, pull a loop through, go up under the first strand and pull a loop up. I have 2 loops on my hook. Go through those 2. Love knot done. Skip over to the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th double crochet, and you'll put a single crochet there. And this is kind of what you'll see. Let's try it again. Okay, it's simply pull up a long loop, yarn over, pull through. Go back and up under that very first strand. Pull up a loop. Now I have 2 loops on the hook. Go through those 2 loops. First portion done. Pull up a loop, pull a loop, pull a yarn over, go up under, see the first strand there? Go up under the first strand, pull up a loop. Now I have 2 loops on the hook, and pull through both loops. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to the 5th double crochet. I do a single crochet, yarn up, yarn over, up under the first strand, pull up a loop. I have 2 loops. Go through both loops. Pull up a long loop, yarn over, go up under the first strand, pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, go through 2 loops, and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to the 5th double crochet. I give myself a single crochet to connect it. Doesn't look like much yet, but it will. Pull up a loop, go up under the first strand, pull up a loop, have 2, go through 2 on my hook. Pull up a loop, yarn over, go up under that first strand of yarn, pull up a loop, go through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet, pull up a loop, go up under that first strand, pull up a loop, go through 2. Yarn pull up a loop, yarn over, go up under that first strand right there, pull up a loop, 2 loops. Okay, now we're getting near the end. Okay, how's it coming? Is it looking good? You can't see much yet, but you will. Okay, and you work it all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, you know we have this post at the end of crocheting. So you would just do your single crochet right into the post to end this first row. Oh, of course, my first row, you got to, yours I'm sure is longer. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. You're going to turn the work over. You're going to turn the work over, and you're going to work 1 love knot, not 2. So right here, I'll pull up one long loop, yarn over, pull through, go up under that first strand, pull up a loop. I have 2, pull through 2 loops. On this row here, you've chained 3 and you've turned, and you only work 1 part of the love knot. Now, we're going to connect this row with the next row with the suspended knots. Can you see the ones that are kind of, I call them suspended in the air. Can you see them? Okay. So I'll start right here with the first one. I'll do a single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, up under the first strand, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Now I'm back to pattern. Pull up a long loop, yarn over, up under the first strand, pull up a loop. I have 2 on my hook, go through both loops. And now you see that love knot is made. Now I'm going to the next one. Single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, up under the first strand, 2, pull up a loop, yarn over, go under the first strand, go through 2 loops. After a while, you just fall into a rhythm. Once you understand how to kind of hold it. And that's just, that's individual, just like everything. Everybody holds their yarn different. That is just something you work on. But can you see it start to happen? So, continue to work on yours. We are on row 2, and I'll see you as we get towards the end, so I can show you how to end row 2. See, look at that. You have to stretch it out, and you can see it. See you back. Okay, we're finishing. You're getting near the end of, I'm calling this row 2. When we started, it's so hard to keep the rows kind of straight because I just have to do a little bit at a time on crocheting. Okay, this was a foundation row. That's just simply where we did our double crochets to get our size. Then the extra pattern I called, the first row was row 1. And now you're coming to the end, I call row 2. Now on this row, we are simply making the love knots. And I'm down to the last love knot, and you can see it suspended there in the air right there. I'm going to stay in pattern, do a single crochet there, pull up a loop, and go under the first strand. Now I have 2 loops, go through both. Now, at the end of this row, we're going to just make one portion of the love knot. Right there. Stop. You should have a single crochet, or what looks like to be one, right here on the end to form this edge of our vest. So I'm simply going to do 1 double crochet right there, right on the very edge. 1 double crochet. And that will end row 2. Okay, then I'm going to chain 1, turn the work, and this will start row 3. And as soon as I turn the work, in that same double crochet, I'm going to simply do a single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you know, in crocheting, in order to be able to get back into your pattern, we need to get back to this row here. You know how they form a bridge. Sometimes I call it, I think other people call it bridge. Even the patterns may even call it a bridge. You form a bridge over here of nothing but just straight chain stitches in order to get yourself back so that we can do this row again. So I've chained 4. Now watch. And then I'm gonna go right over here to the very first suspended love knot, do a single crochet there, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm building this bridge. I'm skipping the ones that are connected. I'm going to the ones that are free, that are kind of suspended in air. And I do a single crochet, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And over to the next one. Single crochet, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm over to the next one that's suspended right there. A single crochet in the knot, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, we're making this just a chain of just going across, making this chain, this bridge, that we can get back to the next part of our pattern. Okay. Alright, to end this, I'm going to go ahead and get to the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so that we can have an end to it. You'll know where we are. Okay, so you get to the end, and you'll see you'll need a single crochet into that last post. You chain 3, 1, 2, 3, you turn the work. And now we're back to our foundation row, which we'll have to keep repeating as as we go up. So to repeat that row, which will be row 1, 2, 3, this will be row 4. Now, in every large space that we have across where we made the bridge, you're simply going to do 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then in this single crochet that's right here, before we get to the next large space, you will do a double crochet there too, and that evens out our stitches. Alright, next large space, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops. And in the next single crochet, you're going to do a double crochet there also. Right there. Oops, I just don't know why everything is so sleek today. Alright, let's continue. Next large space. Okay, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in this single crochet right there, do another double crochet. Now can you see that now we're repeating the foundation row where we had just a line of double crochets. We're trying to fit it in these large spaces. So 4 double crochets here. In that space, and then 1 double crochet here. And continue. 4 double crochets in this large space. one here in the stitch right between them, right there. One double crochet. And as you come up to the end, you can see we have repeated, or somewhat, the foundation row of just a line of double crochets with our love knots meshed in between. Okay, let me come up to the last one, for me at least. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now to end, you will do let's see, at the very end, one double crochet in this stitch here, so that each side has a nice straight edge, and then you'll chain one and turn. And guess what? We will be back ready to do our love knot sequence again. Chain one, turn, do a single crochet into the very first double crochet. Now you're ready to pull up a loop. Now we can have fun. Once you get this down, and you can look at the tape over and over to get it. And you know, I'm trying my best to make it as simple as possible. So now I'm ready to just, after I do the single crochet, I'm ready to go back into my love knot sequence. So I pull up, and let's make it fun. Pull up a loop and go, loves me, up under the first strand, he loves me. Pull up another, he loves me not. Isn't that fun? Count over to the fifth double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the fifth double crochet, you do a single to connect it. See? Now we're ready. Pull up a loop. He loves me. He loves me not. One, 2, 3, 4. Skip 4. Single crochet in the next. Oops. Pull up a loop. He loves me. Pull up a loop. He loves me not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single crochet. Pull up a loop. He loves me. Pull up another loop. He loves me not. And if you drop your loop, just pull it back to where you know where that first knot ends. Pull up a loop, yarn over, he loves me not. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet. And there you have it. Let's just go all the way to the end. It's so much fun. Loves me, loves me not. 1, 2, 3, 4. He loves me. He loves me not. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know you have to single crochet right here in the last post. And you're ready for the next row.